Dragon Ball Super Chapter 101 is finally here, and man oh man does it feel good to actually have a chapter that progresses the story in an interesting way. After what's almost been a full year of rehashes, we finally managed to escape the hell that was a superhero movie, and for me to say that means a lot. I actually like that movie, but after this, let's just say it knocked it down a few tiers in my opinion. Anyways, another thing I wanted to mention about this chapter is that due to it looks like Dragon Ball Super is no longer going to be on life support. Which is saying a lot because at first, if I'm being honest, the future wasn't looking too bright for DBS. I mean, when the first couple of leaks came out for this chapter, we thought we were getting nothing but Saiyaman X1 and 2 content, which not a lot of people wanted, and probably would have pulled the plug on the series for a lot of people who were tuning in. Probably not permanently, but at least until they heard something new. So for this chapter to not only move the story forward and give the fans something that actually gets them excited, it really does make it stand out as one of the better chapters we've seen as of late, and for that, I gotta say thank God. Anyways, let me stop gushing over this chapter and let's finally get into it. Opening up on the first 9 pages, we see Carmine and Red Ribbon Soldier number 15 coming from Magenta's funeral, and as they're driving they discuss the future of the Red Ribbon army, whether or not they should rebuild it. However, Carmine says due to both Gohan and Piccolo, it probably wouldn't be a smart idea. Also, side note, the fact that they still call Piccolo King Piccolo is a neat nod to the fact that the last time Piccolo was really in the public eye in a major way was during the events of Dragon Ball. After this, we see Trunks taking down a couple of bank robbers with ease, even going as far as embarrassing them. I mean, just look at this, he used one of the criminals as a meat shield. Anyways, throughout this fight we see a couple of nods to DBZ, or at least I think they are a couple nods to DBZ. Here we have the stance that Goku took when he defeated Nappa, and we have a scene reminiscent of the original Saiyaman catching bullets against criminals. Moving on, the next 5 pages goes over Carmine and his plot to eliminate Gohan and Piccolo by, I kid you not, using Goten and Trunks to defeat them, which is absolutely hilarious since we know how that would end. But seeing as these two can't sense ki, it does make sense for them to assume that these guys performing feats like this makes them strong. But to say that they're as strong as someone who defeated their literal doomsday android is pushing it. Anyways, the only things that are really notable about these scenes is that it does show Goten and Trunks' nature when it comes to being heroes, as they both decline money from Carmine, showing us that they just want to have fun and help people when it comes to this whole hero business. More so Goten than Trunks, seeing as Goten isn't filthy rich, and the last thing being that Carmine did manage to get them to help him by challenging their egos in a sense. Moving on, the next 16 pages, that's right, 16 pages, gives us Broly versus Vegeta. And here we see what looks like Vegeta training Broly. And I gotta say, the beginning of this fight didn't look to be going too well for our Jolly Green Giant, as we see Vegeta easily dodging and deflecting most of Broly's attacks and landing counters here and there. Not to mention this panel right here where Vegeta gets behind Broly and taunts him. On top of that, we see Vegeta letting Broly land a direct hit on him, showing us that he's toying with him, as well as showing us that Vegeta seems to be trying to implement the ideology of UE in his base form. After this, Vegeta gives Broly some advice about how a Saiyan's rage is a source of power for them, and that essentially he needs to learn to control it. After this, Vegeta goes Super Saiyan and a more intense battle ensues. However, Broly seems to be doing a bit better, and even Whis makes note of this, as we see Broly on the offensive and Vegeta seemingly on the back foot. Hell, Vegeta even goes as far as hiding from Broly. Now, I know that this panel can be seen as a way for Vegeta to be testing Broly's ability to sense ki, but this panel is still funny nonetheless. Anyways, as the fight begins to wind down, it seems as if base Broly and Super Saiyan Vegeta seem to be on par with one another, which is really impressive for Broly, seeing as Goku and Vegeta got far stronger since their last bout with him. Anyways, the next 6 pages goes over about 4 important details. 1. Apparently Broly cannot go Super Saiyan at will, like a lot of characters in the past that recently unlocked the form. 2. Black Frieza is still a talking point, but we still don't know if this arc, if we can even call it that, will lead to anything concerning him. 3. Apparently both Whis and Beerus were aware of Gohan and Piccolo's battle on Earth, which Goku and Vegeta didn't sense because of their battle. And 4. Vegeta says that Bulma thinks that Gohan might be stronger than both him and Goku. A debatable statement within the community, but I guess we'll have to wait and see if it's actually true. And the last thing I guess that could be mentioned is that this page right here shows that Beerus is indeed stronger than Goku and Vegeta, a fact that many of us knew and a lot of fans dislike because yeah, it really does seem as if Beerus is just a moving goalpost at this point, but it is what it is. Moving on, the next 9 pages goes over Magenta arriving at Gohan's house with Goten and Trunks to quote-unquote eliminate him. And this man must have been extremely confident in his plan because he literally shoots at Gohan's house in order to get his attention. If that doesn't scream confidence, I don't know what does. Anyways, Gohan comes out, and once he notices Carmine, he immediately goes into his beast form, showing us, the audience, that he can use it at will, and he begins to approach Carmine. Now I don't know what Gohan was planning on doing here, but for him to use his strongest form for whatever it was is actually insane. Anyways, he stops once he realizes Goten and Trunks are with him. However, before the duo can explain anything, Goku, after sensing Gohan's ki from Beerus' planet, instant transmissions to him, and that's the end of the chapter. Now man, this has to be the first time in a long time that I actually can't wait for next month. I'm really excited to see where they take things next chapter, but if I were to give my theory on what might be coming, I'd say that it's probably going to be Goku versus Gohan, as I don't really see why Goku would just come back to Earth for any other reason, or maybe he just wanted to see Gohan's form up close and personal. Who knows? But what I do know is, this has been a great start to the year for the DBS manga, and let's hope they keep it that way. Anyways, tell me what your thoughts on chapter 101 was, and what you think next month will bring us. Thank you to everyone that watched this video. I hope you have a great day. Peace, peace. Deuce, deuce.